The Wolf of Wall Street.
What is up? What is up, Facebook Live? And today with me is one of my good friends. Been able to be one of my good friends over the past year or so, Steve Freeman. What's up, Steve?
Hey, man, what's going on?
It's going good. It's going good. So, yeah, Steve, the reason we bring him on today, well, besides he's got a lot of knowledge, he was a rock star real estate agent from a very young age. So he was licensed in 1994 at the age of 24, as you've seen on the page. And so how early did you get your broker's license? What, 3 years in?
Yeah, so when I was 28. So
when you were 28, yeah.
Yeah. That was a goal of mine originally, and I think you and I kind of talked about that. I wanted to look as knowledgeable as I could. So that was important for me to get that quick.
Right. So, yeah, before we start diving into a lot of the questions, because I have a lot for you here, Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself here?
So I'm actually my granddad was a builder. My father, my brother, my uncles, they're all in the building business. Excuse me. And then my mother was a licensed agent. She started in the 70s. So I worked at Delta while I was in college, and I got married. And my wife at the time, my ex-wife now, we both worked at Delta. And so I was always scared to be at the same company. And my mom was like, well, just come on, start selling with me. So I I actually didn't finish college, to be honest with you. I was a senior or close to graduating. And, the lure of money kind of snags you in if you hit it right. So, and it's just been a constant roll from then on, really.
Yeah, I know one of the things that we were talking about, because the reason why there's a lot of reasons that you're on here today, but one of them was the idea of setting goals. And like right from the beginning, that's when we were talking about the awards you just got too. So it was your 24th straight year of there's a lot of different names for it as we were talking about, but it was about like 2 million plus GCI each year. So you've done
that's the minimum.
Years. Yeah, that's a minimum for it. So you have to at least hit that. So you hit that for 24 straight years, and you set a goal right from the beginning. So tell me a little bit about like your mindset, like the goals that you're setting at a young, early age.
So my mother at the time was just about to get her Phoenix Award as I was coming in, which the Phoenix is 10 years of that same production. And there was another lady that's been in the business for, ever here locally, and she got the Silver Phoenix. And I was like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. I always, one of my things I say is, why you, why not me? And so I did. I said I was going to do that. I was going to, in 25 years, I was going to be standing up on that stage and get the award. And so, if everything goes right, I've already got the volume so far this year to qualify for 19. So I should, this time next year, be getting the 25-year deal. But that's 24 years ago I set that into motion. And that was and it's funny. I mean, I don't get paid anymore. It's really a vanity award, really, to be honest with you, because you work it and you earn it. But it's just the fact that I set that goal to work towards. And even in the down years, even in 8 through 10, I always was like, man, I got to at least hit that no matter what. Mm-hmm. So, and in those years, man, it was tough. Trust me.
No, yeah, I bet. And I know something we frequently discuss too. So what's your mindset? Because there's something that we were talking about the other day about what some people focus on when they go on the listing appointment, and you could see right through it. He's like, what was always your mindset going into each appointment that you think really differentiated yourself? So,
and I'll give kudos back to my mother. She's a great lady. And if anybody on here knows her and you don't, she's on my friends list, Kathy West. You should reach out to her. She stole all the sweetness.
I wonder where it all went.
Yeah, she's got it. I didn't. Yeah. So it was always never about the money. And she would never let me calculate commissions, nothing. It was always about servicing the client. And so, I don't think we've done a good enough job relaying that message. And that's kind of what we're focused on now is, relaying service. But If you're out there working only for the dollar, people will see right through you, and they're not going to trust you. They're not going to want to use you, and they're going to pay somebody. But if they feel like you're working only for the dollar, you're done. It's game over.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Like, so yeah, like they will see right through. That's one thing I'll always say. There's not always the most smart people that you'll be dealing with in the world, but everybody can tell if you're genuine. Everybody can tell what the reason you're there for. So
That's
no,
correct.
I think that's a very good point. And so I mean, like, so what type of connections would you leverage as a young agent? Because as a young agent, there's a lot of different people that you can leverage. So what were some of the key ones that you did that saw the best results?
So you heard me kind of mention it earlier was education. I went out, I got my brokers in Georgia. When you took the first, we have to have post license here after you get your license. And the GRI one satisfied that. So I immediately started working for the GRI designation and got that. And what's funny is the third part of that actually kind of helped me go into the broker's course. So I had, it all kind of stacked up on each other. So I wanted to make myself look smarter than I was, which I still try to do by sitting here with people like you. And that was, so people don't really always know what a designation is or means, but if it's behind your name, it starts making you look valid. And so it was that. I had my mother, of course, that I could lean back on, and it was, purely. And then I also had another couple of people that were in the office with me that I would mentor and coach. They would coach me and mentor me, and I would use their years of experience as my own. And it would be that, hey, I might not have encountered this, and I might not have been in this business but 2 or 3 or 4 years, whatever it is. But I have access to 20. I have the knowledge of 20 and of course then we didn't have the technology we have now, but a quarter in the payphone, I can get the answer that you need.
A quarter in the payphone. Yeah. We can get a whole heck of a lot quicker now too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, I've been through where we had the big MLS books. Came out every 2 weeks. 4 different lockbox keys. I've kind of been through the gambit so far.
Go ahead.
And I was going to say, and I mean, I have a drive, and I tell everybody, this is my crack cocaine. I love what I do, and I love helping people. And when you do that, great things will come because it's not only your why, but it's what drives you every single day.
Yeah. So I mean, just having a pure love for what you're doing, and like you were saying, just a determination paired with not being there for the money, not even knowing how much you're going to make. That can overcome the age barrier a lot of times. So with that being said, let's talk about your confidence going to each appointment, because you're saying something the other day as far as like get to 30. As long as I get to 30, I'm going to be solidified. So tell me about what changed when you got to 30 and like you finally hit that point. Nothing.
No, it was a mental thing. But let me tell you this. This is a funny story. So my mom had set me up with one of my first clients. Went out and bought a brand new Ford Explorer, shiny red. I came in. I had on my coat, my tie. We walk into the first model home. This is the honest truth. And the lady says, "Oh, hey, little Steve." Dude, like I could have crawled under a rock. So, it's probably the best first thing that ever happened because there was nothing any worse that could happen at that point. My confidence was in just, I knew what I was doing. I studied it. And today still, this is my brain surgery. I read about it every single night. I follow this. And you've probably heard me say this too. Being right is not always being right, but knowing your information is key. And if you don't, everybody does say fake it till you make it, and I've done that too. But if you don't know something, be honest enough to say, "Hey, I don't know, but I will go find that answer for you." And that makes you rock solid.
Yeah, nowadays, like we were saying, you don't have to run to the payphone to do it. Everybody's one phone call away. When you have that mentor, somebody that you can call, or a lot of people with the team, and there's a lot of different resources, it's just one call away to find the right answer.
Oh yeah, and so if you don't know, just don't spat it out. I mean, just say I'll go get the right answer for you.
Right.
And I'll tell you another thing that's been key for me, and this is hard to do for a lot of people. But if that house is not right for them and they're under contract, and let's say the inspection goes away,
yeah,
and it goes bad, tell them to walk away.
Yeah,
tell them to walk away. Tell them you'll find them another house. You'll show them 80 more houses if you have to, because then when you do that. And I mean, it's true. I mean, I did this all the time. I did it the other day with a $800,000 house. Just a lot of money, right? But at the end of the day, it's not the right house for them. I said, walk away. We'll find you the right one. So
and that goes with servicing the person, like you were talking about earlier. It's not about the paycheck. It's not about me getting paid right now. If you find the right home for them, it's gonna pay off in the long run for you too. I'm sure they're going to become raving fans of yours because you told them the right thing to do, not the right thing for you to do.
Correct. So, and it's a challenge. I mean, because you got to remember, you're under 30. All right. Let's say that you're 25, 26, and you're trying to convince somebody to buy a $200,000 or $300,000 house from you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an uphill battle. This isn't a car. This isn't a $20,000, $50,000 car. This is
not going door to door selling Kirby's. Yeah.
No. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think the education part of it is critical.
Mm-hmm.
Because you better sound like you know what you know.
Yeah.
Master your business.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. And so I want to talk about a little bit about leveraging some of these relationships, because we were talking about a mentor, because like a mentor is great to have. And that's something that we were talking about yesterday with Al. So if you haven't checked out that video with Al the other day, I would definitely recommend it. He dropped some knowledge on us there. So with that being said too, what are some other relationships that you can leverage as a young real estate agent?
So if you really do know me, I mean, my whole career has been around relationships. I will say I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I know a lot of people, and I've met a lot of the right people, and I'm fortunate to continue to meet the right people. That's where you get the value is just knowing people. That's that, and if you can leverage that. And so I tried to find somebody who was extremely successful and mirror what they were doing, And so I always said I wanted to soar with the eagles and not fly like the turkeys. I always wanted to find that eagle that was soaring at the top and not on the ground with the other turkey. And I don't mean that bad, but it is
right.
I wanted to be, soaring and majestic. I didn't want to be, I tried to emulate what somebody else was doing right. I didn't have to recreate the wheel.
Yeah. Right. So with that being said, because you had a great person like your mom to mentor you, and you were around it your whole life, even before you got into real estate. So I'm sure you were around it a lot too. So you gained a lot of knowledge from that. But if you can go back and change one thing that you were doing at a young age, and then you think that would be pay the most dividends in the long run, what do you think that one would be? Oh,
I can tell you that even from then to today.
Yeah.
Your client base that you have, nurture it. Don't let it go. And we're bad about looking in the front windshield at what's coming to us, and how do we get the next paycheck? And because that's how we live, is paycheck to paycheck. Well, that's how we get paid.
Right.
But do not ignore the people that have already bought into you. They trust you. You've done them a good job. That is the one thing I will tell you that over 25 years was my number one failure. Number one, by far.
Yeah.
And still today is tough because, you get busy being busy.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. That's a very good point, especially since, so a little bit about myself too, as a lot of you know, that I was running that call center for a while too. And we had a whole business based off of that because we did a great job at following up with the database. That was, I would say that would be one of our fortes. And there was appointments today. If anybody's looking for a caller, they're great and they're rock stars. But with that being said, that was what they did, is follow up with the database. We get new leads for you coming in, and then we'd also nurture the ones that were there as well. But I know that so we had a good chance because, like I said, we've kind of known each other, grown to know each other a lot more over the years. And one of the things that you always brought up is knowing your lender and having a great relationship. So like what were some things that you looked for in a great lender?
So, that also creates the leverage in your knowledge base when someone comes into you and they said, well, I don't know what I can even buy.
Yeah.
And if you've got a great lender who's not just a good lender, but also a good teacher and knows how to talk to the client and coach them up, now it's a magical moment. And I will say that it's anybody in your world. It is the inspector. It is and I always tell people, I make no money off this, zero, no dollars.
Yeah.
But my job is to guide you to the people who will make your life better. And you can go out there and you can call Quicken, you can do whatever. You don't know who you're getting. These people I know, and I can hold them accountable as well for you. This is part of a whole team network. And that is another. So I would tell you as a new agent, go meet your attorneys, find one or two, and stick with them, and it's fine to do that, to recommend people. Find you one or two good lenders. Don't have I have kind of one now. That's an inside joke. But
I think we may have lost you, Steve.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay, good.
There we go.
I was just saying that I always have one or two.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have just one, by the way. If you know that they're a rock star, I have no problem. I get paid for my knowledge and my expertise. And I know that, with some of the real estate laws, they want you to recommend 2 or 3. Hey, dude, you're paying me thousands of dollars to recommend somebody.
Right.
So I'll stick my neck on the line for that.
So a lot of these concepts too, there are a lot of things that were happening, I guess you should say, in your heyday. And a lot of the concepts are directly transferable to today as well. And if anything, they're a lot easier. Like you were saying, for you to go call your mentor and for you to do everything, you'd have to go to the nearest payphone. We have cell phones now. A lot of these things are relationships. And so everything that you're talking about right now is just, it's easy, it's simple, but it's not easy, right?
Yep.
Like these are simple concepts, but they're not easy to do. Nurturing your database takes time. Getting these relationships takes time. Exactly. So
I would say set the plan. And I know that your group is doing this great. And holding each other accountable for it, because I'll be honest with you, dude, like after I've kind of stepped up into a different position, I didn't have the same mentor or accountability. I've held myself accountable probably for the last 15 years. Yeah. And that's tough to do. And I do it because I have different outside motivational factors, but you have to have somebody to really kind of help hold you accountable for what you have to do. And set the list. I need to call 22 of my past clients this week. And if you don't do it, there should be some repercussion to that. We talked about that too.
Yeah. So that what we're referring to is the young and hungry 100 group. So any realtors out there, or if you know any that are under 30, it's a great group. All we do is we hold each other accountable to our goals. If we don't hit our goals, we talk about our highly leveraged activities, our activity of ROI. So we talk about everything that a young agent should be doing. Like we said, a lot of times we know what we should be doing, but it's accountability that really takes it over. So so one of the things I went 2 for 3 on my goals last week. So I still have to send my video of me singing to the group. So I don't know whose punishment that is for more, me or the group, but that's I still got to make sure that I hit that out this week.
That's true. And I'll say, you just have to, the biggest thing that you have to do is remain positive. Because it's a very tasking business emotionally anyways, because you can be on top of the mountain at 9 a.m. and, at 5 p.m. you can be under, the lowest rock that there is. And then also you can't, you're going to get people that say, oh, you're too young. So what? Next. Find the one that doesn't. That is, and I'll say that about me, and the people that are in my circle will say that I am a so what next. There's somebody else, if there's failure or something happens not right, there is next.
So how do you still stay in that mentality? Like staying positive and saying, okay, there's always going to be somebody else.
That's gonna be tough sometimes. Margaritas, wine.
Right.
Anybody that's in this business is an alcoholic probably by now. No, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to get bad people, and that's just a numbers game. But you're going to get a lot more good people than bad people. You work through the bad, knowing that at on the next curve, here comes 5 more good ones, and then the reward is warming. You'll get people to give you the reviews too, by the way, because it's not just good for the public; it's good for yourself. I like to read them. I like for people to say, "Hey, the guy helped me." I wouldn't be where I was at without him. Ask for him. I mean, and I'll be honest. I mean, sometimes when you do get down, it's real easy to go back and just read a couple of those, and it motivates yourself.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Going back and reading some of your reviews and knowing that sometimes it isn't you. It's just the people that you're dealing with and that you're a rock star and you can get back out there and go on to the next one, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So going into that, let's lead off with this. If you could give one piece of advice for a young real estate agent out there, what would it be?
Well, I mean, I still say education. I say educate yourself and get into now, especially today with Facebook, where it is, get into a good group. Yeah. I mean, that would be and I'll tell you that somebody I'm not 50 yet, and I've still got a year to go, year and 3 months. So
count down the days.
It's weird though. And I say this for somebody like me, I was in an office environment, at the different brokerages I've been with. And now I'm more friends with you and other people in these different groups than I was with the person that I shared an office right next door to. and the sharing is way more. So really today would be find a great group to attach to.
Yeah.
And I also educate yourself.
Yeah, go ahead.
And educate yourself.
Yeah, and I also feel like you were saying, there's a lot of people that I'm almost better friends with now that we have miles and miles of distance between us. If you guys didn't know, I'm in Cleveland and Steve's in Atlanta. But we were just talking last night, and I think a big reason why a lot of people are so open to sharing too, when you get people from a bunch of different areas, is they're not exactly in your direct marketplace. They're not a direct competitor of yours. So they're open to sharing their ideas, their little tips and tricks that's being useful to them. Right. So I think that's a big part of it as well. But yeah, no, before we take off here, Steve, do you have anything else to add?
No, I mean, I asked you this earlier. Okay. And this is a frontline question, of what is it that's a number one challenge for the young and the hungry? What is their challenge? I mean, I've been through it.
Yeah. Well, I think the number one challenge, I mean, this is just from hearing the groups, because we have about 3 groups right now. So we have the one that originally started it between myself, Braden Kinder, Garrett Terrell, my brother, and there's a couple other guys that are in there. So they're like the original founders of it. And we originally started it because a lot of times there wasn't really masterminds for younger agents. Right. And a lot of times, I don't know if whether it's the money or just sometimes didn't have the moxie to get in the room with some of those top agents. But every time we go into some of these masterminds, it usually just be me and Braden that were at them. And me and Braden would just be sitting there, and it was great because we learned a lot from it. But what I would say for the young agents, the number one biggest challenge is staying on task, is keeping your eye on the prize and keeping your eye on the long-term goal. What's the long-term value of what I'm doing? Because a lot of times, as you know, with young, and this is something that I had to overcome as well, of realizing that going out tonight isn't what's best for me, or doing different tasks isn't what's best for me. What's best for me is focusing on my business. So I think one of the hardest things, or one of the things that you realize quickly, especially in a group like we have with the 100-0 Young and Hungry group, is you'll find out if you're just interested or you're committed very quickly. If you're not hitting your goals, you have to come and tell the group. If you don't show up, heck, you won't even be in the group in a couple weeks. Right. So I think just the being committed and holding yourself accountable is the number one biggest factor that we help you overcome. Okay, so I'll end it with this. Yeah. I think the number one thing
is to find a way to maintain a positive focus, you know, and you're having to adult up quick, you know, and you are, and you just said it, you know, sometimes you got to make the decision of, am I going to go to my frat buddy's wedding on Saturday, or am I going to show somebody that wants to see 4 houses, you know, and it'll be a tough decision, but this is your career, you know. And your buddies are going to be there. They'll understand. You know, you're just going to have to say, this is, you know, what I do. But I would say that you have the number one thing, maintain a positive outlook, because you're going to go through bad days. I mean, there's going to be bad days. There will be. But you got to find a way to up yourself back up to that positive level. Yeah, no, that's a great point as well, because even within the group, we have group chats that are going in GroupMe. So the purpose I didn't want to make them on the phone is because a lot of people, that their phone and their messenger is like the way that they do business. We don't want to blow up your messenger bot. So what we do is we started the GroupMe, and man, I'll tell you what, if somebody's having a bad day, you go on that GroupMe, you're not going to be having a bad day. We'll either be messing around, we'll be motivating you, and everybody's there to motivate each other. And on that note too, we always meet on every Sunday. So if you're going out on Saturday, I'll tell you what, you're going to have a rough Sunday and you might not make it. So one of the biggest things that impressed me was I knew I wasn't going to go out for Patty's Day this year. Well, I went out on Friday. We had the office party. You know, we had a good time. And we went out a little bit on Saturday, but I knew I had my meetings on Sunday, so I wasn't going to be doing all that. So the rest of the group, man, we had a full class there at 10 p.m. on St. Patrick's Day. That just shows you how committed the group is to getting better and just wanting to get better for themselves. They were there, they were present, and it was a good thing to see. Yeah, and this can be it's been the greatest business. I mean, it is. It changes your life. It you know. So don't take it as if it's just a job. I mean, this is a life changer for you. You know, and it has. I mean, it gives us opportunity to travel, to make money, to meet people. It's a very rewarding business. I don't want to sound like in any way that it wasn't, because they're all, you know, but I love what I do. I wouldn't, if you asked me to go back, I probably might, there's only maybe one thing I'd change to do, but other than that, I mean, I might be, but it'd still be in the same field. I might've been a closing attorney. That's it. Other than that, I'd still be in the real estate business. Beyond the shadow of a doubt. Well, Steve, I appreciate you coming on today. I mean, you have an infinite amount of knowledge, especially going back to your grassroots here. I think you dropped some serious knowledge on us. And for people who are just joining us, you definitely want to go back to the beginning and catch everything we just talked about. Again, guys, if you want to join the Younger and Harmony, you can either get tagged in a post or you can message me directly. And I'm sure if you guys have any questions about real estate, or if you want to get further knowledge on real estate, contact Steve. He's always there to help. And you're right, Steve? I was actually going to end it like that for you, which was, man, I'm a text message, a phone call, or messenger me, add me on Facebook, whatever. I am more than happy to help you, whether you're in my world or not in my world. I get a lot of satisfaction out of assisting people and making, like I told you, if I can help anybody better themselves from the day I met them, I've succeeded. So, and you followed through with that. You followed through that with that several times, and I'll be in a testament to that. Anyway, anytime I bring up even the slightest problem, it might not even be dealing with real estate or something going on. Your first is, how can I help? What can I do? Yeah. Every single time. Yeah, no, every time, and I definitely appreciate it. Steve is definitely a great person to know. You want to talk about relationships? Get to know Steve Freeman right here. All right. But anyways, guys, it's been my pleasure, Nick. I mean, really, honestly. No, we have some good conversations. We have a good time. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Steve, thanks for coming on. Like I said, you dropped some serious knowledge here. If you're just joining us, go back to the beginning, rewatch it all. You won't regret it. And if you guys need anything, reach out to Steve. You can either reach out to him on Facebook. He's very accessible on Facebook. You just go to Steve Freeman, or you could reach out to him directly. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you later, and thanks for coming on, Steve. Thank you.